Hey Vault Dwellers, JV here, and today I'm sharing my leveling guide for Fallout 76. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more Fallout 76 videos just like this. In this video, we're going to cover the quickest ways to gain experience and how XP generally works in this game. These tips were gathered over the course of many hours in the beta and also in the live game and are designed to help you level as quickly as you can. Keep in mind this is a live game, and anything I share in this video is subject to change at a later date, and if it does change, I'll do my best to update you guys with another video or in the comment section below. This game approaches experience in a way that's pretty different compared to previous Fallout games. Intelligence no longer affects your experience gains. It doesn't matter how many special points you put into intelligence, it's not going to help you level more quickly. There are no passive experience boosts in this game. Every single bonus is situational, meaning you have to complete an action or meet a condition in order to take advantage of them, and most of them only last for an hour at a time. We'll talk about those in a few minutes, but first I want to cut to the chase. What is the quickest way to level up? I've found it's not by completing quests or events, but instead it's by killing enemies. The bulk of your experience, whether you're questing or just exploring, comes from the enemies that you kill. You will gain a substantial amount of experience per kill if you're focusing on the right enemies, and that's going to be more than the completion XP for any quest or event. If you can limit your travel time, focus on locations with the most high quality enemies, and kill them as quickly as you can, you will level up very quickly. Now you may be thinking this is very vague advice, that sounds like grinding, and it probably is by most definitions, but it's definitely the most efficient way to gain XP from my experience. The issue with quests and events is how unpredictable they are and how long they take. Some involve traveling between locations, some have very few enemies along the way, and some don't involve killing enemies at all. If you want to level as quickly as possible, you don't want to waste time. Some events ask you to hold down an area and kill waves of enemies, kind of like Feed the People in Morgantown. Those can be worth your time, but I'd say only if they give you high quality enemies. What do I mean by high quality enemies? Fallout 76 approaches enemies and experience in a unique way. Killing a higher level enemy does not necessarily give you better experience. It's actually the type of enemy you're killing and their rank that determines the experience gain. Now, for the most part, the higher the level, the higher the rank. You're going to run into that makes sense, but just keep in mind that that number really doesn't mean much. What you're looking at is the type of enemy you're killing and whatever name they have. For example, super mutants generally are great sources of experience. The standard super mutant, which you'll find is usually a level 5, has a base experience gain of 30. No matter what your level is or what the level is of that super mutant, it'll usually be 5 once again, but you'll gain 30 XP plus whatever XP percentage bonuses you have active. Now say you come across a super mutant skirmisher. It's got that extra name on the end. That's the second rank of super mutant. Killing them will net you 50 base experience. The general idea here is the higher the rank of the enemy you're killing, the more XP you'll gain. Let's compare those numbers to the Scorched, which give you far less base experience. The lowest rank, Standard Scorched, gives you 10 XP per kill. The next rank up, Scorched Wanderers, will give you 20 XP per kill. Scorched have less health and resistances, so you're definitely killing them more quickly, but you'll find that once you've got a solid weapon and build on your character, you're one-shotting all of them anyways, and you'll get more bang for your buck if you're killing those higher rank, tougher enemies. Just to reinforce this point, here's some footage from a recent stream. You can see that a super mutant enforcer is netting me 141 XP per kill. I'm killing this thing at level 11 or level 12. This guy is in the upper 20s, almost level 30, and it's netting me 141 XP per kill. That's pretty insane when you consider quests and events give 150 to 250 XP upon completion. That seems like nothing if you are killing each enemy for almost the same amount. Now I should clarify, I'm not suggesting you should only grind high rank enemies and never quest or do events. Most of the time, if you explore an area, you'll get a miscellaneous objective or an event will appear, and it makes sense to do it since you're already there. But just know that the bulk of your XP gains, no matter what you're doing, come from the enemies that you're killing. If you're finding you haven't killed something in a while, or you want to level up more quickly and you're going pretty slowly, maybe it's time to move on from whatever you're doing, find a super mutant camp, or find another enemy type that gives you a lot of experience and focus on them. I think the best practical application of the advice that I'm giving you is to check the experience gains that you're getting. If you're finding that you're focusing on mostly enemies that give you 10, 12 experience, you need to move on because those are not very high quality enemies. It doesn't matter how many of them you're killing, you will be able to find the same amount of enemies that give you better experience elsewhere. It's a little bit tough because this game, believe it or not, spawns different enemies at the same locations. I don't know if this cycles, with the servers, if it changes every day or every week, but I've noticed I visited one location twice and there are just different enemies there. One time it was Scorched, one time it was Super Mutants. Just pay attention to those XP gains and make sure you're focusing on enemies that give you the most XP per kill, if your goal is to level up as quickly as possible. If you clicked on this video expecting some get-rich-quick scheme that's a big secret, I just don't think that exists in Fallout 76. Bethesda has already patched the game to remove a method that allowed you to craft a lot of throwing knives and level up fairly quickly for not that much steel, and also to sell them for a decent amount of caps. They've already patched that out of the game. So I think Bethesda is really on it this time. They've got an infrastructure in place where they're going to try and squash those abilities to level up really quickly if they do crop up and people haven't found them yet. So again, my best advice is to use the tools that we have in the game to maximize your experience. And the single best way to make sure that you're leveling as quickly as possible, in my opinion, outside of trying to find higher rank enemies, is no matter what you're doing, play with a team. Inspirational is a charisma card unlocked right at the beginning, level 2, when you leave Vault 76. It's a one-cost card that gives you plus 5% more XP when you're on a team. Each rank increases that bonus XP up to 15% at rank 3. If you want to maximize your experience as soon as possible, I would take this perk and rank it up as quickly as you can. That means by level 4, I would choose Inspirational 3 times and make sure your Charisma is at 3 so you can equip the 3-cost rank 3 version of this card. Now you could wait until level 10 and see what your perk card packs give you. Since the pool of options is fairly limited at lower levels, that would give you more likelihood of pulling Inspirational. I'm not sure if certain cards are weighted and more likely to appear in packs, but it's certainly possible to pull multiple inspirational cards from your packs. Regardless, you can guarantee that you're maximizing your XP as quickly as possible by choosing those cards immediately. Something else to keep in mind, all that Inspirational requires to kick into effect and give you that bonus experience is that you're on a team. Not that you're playing alongside someone else or that you're talking to them, just that they appear in the bottom left of your screen as a team member. If you don't want someone affecting your experience and just want to fly solo, want to do this on your own, but you still want to take advantage of this bonus XP, you can do that. My best advice is to invite people that are on your server from your social menu. It doesn't matter where they are, what level they are, or what they're doing. Just invite them. If you really don't want to deal with microphones or social interaction, I understand, I do this. You can disable voice chat entirely in the audio part of the options menu. I've done this and found that people generally will stick around unless they, log off and actually need to leave. However, I'd really consider playing with others. You're going to kill enemies more quickly, and as long as you get one shot on each enemy, you'll gain that experience for the kill. It adds up over time, and you'll find that you're generally leveling quicker if you're playing with a team. Outside of using Inspirational and playing with a team, your options get far more limited. It becomes more of a pain to get bonus experience. Your next course of action, and this is something I would always try and make sure you have up, is to be well rested. This is a bonus effect that you get from sleeping in beds. It will give you plus 5% bonus experience for a set duration. If your bed is on the ground, like a sleeping bag or a dirty mattress, this bonus will only last for an hour. But if you sleep in a proper bed with a frame off the ground, you'll get this for 2 hours. This is fairly easy to maintain since there are tons of beds out in the world, but my best advice is to sleep every single time you visit your camp. If you're like most people, you'll be traveling back fairly often to manage things, and even going to your teammates' camps if you're playing with others. So taking a minute every single time you go to refresh that buff is going to be worth it. Your next option is Consumables. Some food and drink items will give you plus 5% bonus XP for an hour. Canned meat stew is a primary example. Unfortunately, this is not craftable. You have to find it out in the world or get it from a quest, but you get 5 of these within the first 5 to 10 minutes of starting a new character. so make sure and use them in the beginning of the game before they go bad. For some reason, I found these spoil really quickly, like more quickly than most other items, and there's really no way to prevent that unless you have the Good with Salt perk. Now, according to the game guide, which has a ton of incorrect information, I'll say, there are several more food and drink items that give you XP bonuses. Cranberry cobbler, cranberry relish, squirrel stew, and cranberry juice. I can't confirm these myself since I haven't found them yet, but since the guide is outdated, I take those with a grain of salt. No pun intended. There are no chems or alcohol that provide bonus experience, so you don't have to worry about that, and that's probably a good thing because certain perks would make that insanely powerful. Next up is the leader bobblehead, which grants plus 5% bonus XP for an hour. Considering how rare and random bobbleheads are, there's no way to plan for this bonus. I wouldn't worry about this at all. If you come across it, fine, that's a nice little boost for a while. The curator perk also, which is a luck perk, will double the time of this bonus to 2 hours, but I wouldn't recommend wasting a point for that card. Also, there are no magazines that increase your experience, so don't worry about that. Lastly, there's an event that actually gives you an XP bonus. If you complete the Path to Enlightenment event, which is at the Landview Lighthouse, very close in the forest to the start of the game, you'll receive plus 5% bonus XP for an hour. But just like the leader bobblehead, this is really random. You don't know when this is going to appear. You can't control whether other people on your server are trying to complete it and do it before you get there. There are many issues with trying to plan around this event for your XP bonus, but if you're nearby, I'd say go for it. So to recap, generally speaking, I think the best way to level up in this game is to focus on higher rank enemies, and that's maybe something you're not going to be able to do until you level up, you get further in the game, and you recognize which enemies give you a certain amount of experience. I'd actually like to make a video once I've, got a lot more time with the game and have a lot of footage. I can show you guys this is what gives you this kind of XP. This is what's worth spending your time on. And then what is a trash enemy, for example, like a liberator that I would not waste even a bullet on. Most people will just play the game and not worry about what kinds of enemies they're fighting, and that's fine. That makes sense. Just take advantage of the inspirational perk and the other XP bonuses that you can take advantage of. But once you get later on in the game, you really want to pay attention to what you're killing. In the comment section, tell me how you're maximizing your experience and playing as efficiently as you can. Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe and hit the bell for more Fallout 76 content like my last video where we discuss future updates. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.